This girl never saw it coming. Out of pure envy over her beauty and talent, the wicked Zhu Huiwei ruthlessly shoved her off a high tower, then used a forbidden technique to swap their bodies. Zhu Huiwei thought she'd stolen herself the perfect life, but little did she know that behind Huang Lingling's flawless exterior was a girl born chronically sickly, prone to dizzy spells and fevers that knocked her flat at a moment's notice. As for Huang Lingling herself, now stuck in an unattractive shell, she actually had her health back. This wasn't a punishment, it was a second chance at life. The story is set in ancient China, where the emperor selects young women from the 5 most prestigious noble families to serve as imperial consorts, with the most outstanding among them destined to become the next empress. Among all the candidates, Huang Lingling, the beloved daughter of the Huang household, was the unrivaled front-runner. No contest, she wasn't just the reigning empress's own niece, she was also the crown prince's childhood sweetheart. Between her striking beauty and her warm, virtuous nature, she was the darling of the entire palace, practically treated like a star among stars. But that kind of admiration came with a steep price. Born with a fragile constitution, she had to fight twice as hard just to maintain the illusion of good health. Every day was a grind researching specialized remedies, pushing through grueling physical training, all just to keep up appearances. Of course, where there's admiration, there's jealousy. Zhu Huiwei, daughter of the Zhu family, was plain-looking and razor-tongued, leaving wounds wherever she went. The palace folk had taken to calling her the Wicked Woman, and it wasn't just the other noble girls who froze her out. Even the lowest-ranking palace maids quietly looked down on her. But what nobody saw was what simmered beneath that bitter, insecure surface, a wild, all-consuming jealousy. And so, on the eve of the Qixi festival, she set her scheme in motion, using the celestial spectacle as cover. Right at the peak of a blazing comet's light, Zhu Huiwei caught the unsuspecting Huang Lingling completely off guard and hurled her off the high tower, then triggered an ancient soul-swapping technique passed down through her family. Huang Lingling survived the fall without serious injury, and the crown prince moved quickly, ordering Zhu Huiwei seized and thrown in prison. When Huang Lingling finally came to, horror washed over her. She was locked deep in a dungeon, and standing before her was Dongxue, once her most loyal and devoted lady-in-waiting. But every trace of warmth had vanished from Dongxue's eyes, replaced by ice-cold contempt. Dongxue coldly accused her of being the one who'd pushed Lady Lingling off the tower, then announced she would face the palace's most brutal form of punishment, the beast trial. The rules were merciless and simple. The accused is locked in a cage with a starving lion. If the lion doesn't eat you, you're innocent. Desperate to defend herself, Huang Lingling tried to cry out, but no matter how hard she strained, her throat refused to produce a single word about the body swap, as if some invisible force had sealed her voice on that one topic. She tried proving her identity by revealing personal details that only Dongxue could possibly know, but Zhu Huiwei had already covered her tracks. Before losing consciousness, she'd spread a rumor that her diary had been stolen. So in Dongxue's mind, this was simply proof that Huang Lingling had snooped through the pages. Dongxue tossed her a poison pill and told her coldly that she might as well take it herself before the beast did the job for her. After Dongxue left, Zhu Huiwei used her dark arts to project an illusion wearing the face of Huang Lingling's breathtaking beauty and unleashed a vicious, gloating tirade. In less than a quarter of an hour, Huang Lingling would be torn to pieces by a starving lion in the execution yard. There would be no chance to plead, no mercy, no way out. Yet strangely, in the face of this death sentence, Huang Lingling quickly made peace with her new reality. While waiting for her fate to arrive, she even shared a quiet, gentle moment with the rats in her cell. It made a strange kind of sense during the darkest and most unbearable years of her former life. Those same little creatures had helped her test medicines and kept her company through countless agonizing, sleepless nights. The hour of execution came soon enough. Everyone had gathered at the punishment grounds, eager to watch the wicked woman get exactly what she deserved. Up on the high platform, Crown Prince Yaoming's face was dark and thunderous. Beside him, noble consort Zhu, once Zhu Huiwei's guardian, made a very public show of cutting all ties with the girl. Under normal circumstances, people usually extend some basic sympathy to the condemned and might feed the hungry lion beforehand to buy a little extra time, maybe even save a life. But Zhu Huiwei had spent years abusing and tormenting the palace staff, and today, not a single soul felt like doing her any favors. Chun Yu, the guard commander overseeing the execution, had no particular feelings about any of it. His plan was simple. Once the lion finished, collect the remains and call it a day. Huang Lingling was escorted out, and what they saw stopped people cold. She walked with an unnerving, bone-deep composure, her steps measured and steady, her bearing regal and dignified, utterly unlike the coarse and brash Zhu Huiwei they all knew. When the crown prince, barely holding his fury in check, demanded to know whether she admitted her guilt, Huang Lingling, still not fully adjusted to her new body, instinctively let slip the words, "Cousin, my lord," before she could catch herself. That phrase landed like a match on dry tinder. The crown prince, already at his breaking point, took it as a grotesque imitation of Huang Lingling by someone staring down death, and in a burst of rage, he ordered her thrown into the iron cage and the door bolted shut. A bone-rattling roar filled the arena the beast hadn't eaten in days. Yet even face to face with something capable of shredding her to pieces in seconds, Huang Lingling's expression didn't waver, not even a flicker. That stillness rattled Chun Yu. The cold-blooded guard commander found himself genuinely unsettled. The reason? Huang Lingling carried quietly within her. She had long since grown used to walking the razor's edge between life and death. As long as death hadn't actually arrived, there was no point in falling apart. Staying calm was the only way to conserve strength for whatever came next. Those words hit Chun Yu somewhere deep and unexpected. Maybe she really could walk out of this alive like the immortals from the old legends. And as it turned out, she did. The lion paced and snarled but never lunged. Face to face with its prey, the beast simply would not attack. By the rules of the trial, if the accused wasn't devoured, they were innocent. With the situation situation locked in a standoff. The crown prince, having completely lost his grip on reason, threw protocol out the window and ordered Chen Yu to wound the lion with his sword to set it off. Left with no choice, Chen Yu obeyed. The wounded lion snapped into full frenzy, jaws wide open, and launched itself straight at the defenseless Huan Lingling. Everyone braced for the worst, and then a piercing, blood-curdling shriek split the air. The lion lunged, but when it hit, what crumpled to the ground wasn't Huan Lingling, it was the lion itself. In 100 years of beast trials, nothing like this had ever been witnessed. Chen Yu rushed forward to inspect the scene, jaw slack with disbelief. The lion was dead, killed by a powerful poison, with a sword pressed to her throat. Huan Lingling calmly laid out exactly what had happened. Before she'd been taken out of the dungeon, one of the rats had accidentally eaten the poison pill Dong Xue had left behind. Moved by pity for the little creature, Huan Lingling had tucked the dying rat into her sleeve, planning to give it a proper burial later. When the starving lion lunged and bit down, it swallowed the rat still loaded with lethal poison whole, right along with a mouthful of her sleeve. And that was how it all went down. Since the beast was dead and the accused had not been consumed, Huan Lingling was formally declared innocent before the entire crowd and set free. Still, before she was escorted away, he made a point of issuing a cold, pointed warning. Next time she stepped out of line, there would be no such luck. That scene left Zhu Huiyue trembling, with white-knuckled rage. Her scheme had completely fallen apart, and when the crowd finally dispersed, Huan Lingling stood quietly and offered a silent prayer for both the lion and the rat. Chen Yu watched, thoroughly at a loss. The girl wearing the face of the Zhu family's wicked woman was nothing like the Zhu Huiyue he had ever known.
ケイゲツ様、私ですね。お迎えに上がりました。